Hi, I'm Brock Smith, and this is my site development project. Some details about my project. It is located in Guthrie, Oklahoma, directly east of I-35. It actually butts right up to I-35. The spec we were given was Shingle Creek, West Mississippi, the SCWM, and our geotechnical report was Terracon in New Mexico. That is where the actual site of the geotechnical report was in New Mexico. And in the background here, you can see some actual site photos of our site. I saw it off I-35 when I was going south, so when I was heading back north, I decided to pull off and take some photos just to get a better idea of the project site, the slope and topography of it all. Because the topographical maps are helpful, but it's really helpful just to lay eyes on it and actually see those elevation changes and see what's going on. Here's here's some more project photos, and as you can see here, the left picture is on the east side, the right side of the map. It is paved, and then the road south of our project is actually just a red dirt road. So here's our development. It is a five plots that are 5 acres each with the green space, and this pond was placed strategically in a low point on the job site. And some things to take into account are there's a small lake to the northeast on a golf course, and there is a creek that runs directly north of our job site between the job site and two businesses. And it actually runs under this Midwest Boulevard road. Here's the SWIP plan. I decided to put a silt fence just on the north and east side, as the highway runs on the west side of the site, and it slopes down into the site, so we're not really too worried about keeping, there won't be very much erosion over there. And there's a dirt road that's relatively flat to our job site to the south. So the silt fence was only needed on the north and the east side. A dust screen was decided to be put all the way around, dust screen and fence, just to keep sediment and like aerial alluvial debris from getting onto the highway and disrupting any travel going north, getting into those businesses I mentioned previously, or going east and getting onto the golf course and disrupting that area. There's also 2 storm drains on that paved road east, so straw wattles were added. And the pond that mentioned earlier is going to be a temporary sediment basin. It'll be especially helpful because the highway slopes down into the site, runs south, so it'll all end up in the pond. And then ag base was another thing we decided to add for construction on the construction entrances. And we just wanted to put it in the site for the paved road, but because that entire south road is dirt, we decided that we would put ag base across the entire road just to reduce sediment tracking and prevent it from getting in and out of the site. Because especially if there's a rainstorm and you have heavy equipment, we don't need all that dirt to be picked up and brought in. And here's the topographical map. As you can see, it was especially easy to do this after visiting the site, but all of this slopes down to the bottom left of our site, and that's where the pond will be. And then there's a very steep slope to the north going down into that creek. So that's where that silt fence will be very important and integral to the SWIP plan. And then it's slightly inaccurate on this right side of where this creek is, because it does not actually go under the road, back under the road, back into the golf course. It just runs into the golf course. So we don't need to worry about getting any debris in the creek on the east side, just that north side. And as you see, this very steep slope on the left side of the project from the highway, that's going to be a source of non-erosion pollution potentially, with any accidents, wrecks, just vehicle traffic, those types of pollutants could get into the site that way.